Yeah, shooting now. Bye. Hello, guys. My name is Wale Farron. I'm a tech entrepreneur, and welcome to another episode of Tech RoundUp, your weekly opinion, views, and analysis of the top tech events happening around the world with a focus on Nigeria. On Tech RoundUp today, we will spend some time reviewing the actual market size for tech entrepreneur in Nigeria, discuss the recent APCON announcement that it will begin regulating internet ads, and finally, we'll talk about the recent Apple apology amid privacy concern over Siri content. Let's get started. Does size matter? This was the question posed by Dr. Ola Brown in a recent Medium article where she analyzed the size of the Nigerian consumer market. But before I dig a little into the article, let me say that I met Dr. Brown a little over 3 years ago in Accra, Ghana at an investors event. She was extremely smart and had passion for tech and tech investments. In her article, she made a very clear analysis of the 200 million Nigerian population where she divided it into 3 segments she called 1, 2, and 3, and compared the size of each segment to similar segments in India. It was very clear that India is far ahead and a much bigger market. Segment 1. People with over $10,000 earning a year are approximately about 2 million. Segment 2. Regarded as the middle class, size of about 90 million. And finally, segment 3. About 90 million people as well, but people who live below $2 a day. She also made a case that it's near impossible to build a profitable business for segment 3 only for several reasons. The article also looked at other indicators such as number of millionaires, airport travelers, and GDP per capita to analyze the attractiveness of the market. While I agree with this market segmentation, I think there are a few other issues that tech entrepreneurs and investors must consider while projecting and making a business case for the Nigerian market. 1. Entrepreneurs and investors must not only pay attention to the size of the segment that they are solving for, but also the income level, disposable portion, and how their products stack up against other competing needs in the life of the consumer. I once heard an argument about how airtime recharge cards has affected the volume of beer consumption in Nigeria. Think about that. 2. Businesses must pay attention to repeat factor and frequency. Will consumers be able to afford repeat purchases despite all other needs? 3. Entrepreneurs must build across segments and differentiate offering by price, access points, and level of service. I hope to bring Dr. Ola in the near future as a guest on the show in our new interview segment that is expected to start in October. To our next story. Nigeria's advertising regulatory agency APCON has released plans to regulate online ads. According to a recently released memo, the council has threatened that there will be zero tolerance on the exposure of adverts on social media platforms not limited to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, blogs, and websites without prior approval of the Advertising Standards Panel. It further said that all communication materials, regardless of the medium, must be approved by APCON before they go live. Existing APCON policy imposes a minimum of 500,000 naira fine on advertising violators, and the council plans to extend this policy to social media ad violators, but will also include an option of 6 months jail time. I think this is ridiculous. It's another great example of Nigerian government's desperation to generate revenue without much consideration to the dynamics at play in the space. Or maybe they just don't care. This development raises 3 open questions on my mind that I think the agency should be able to answer. 1. What is the framework for seeking approval for the proposed ads? There are millions of ads posted monthly by Nigerian businesses online, and the current APCON process will just not withstand the demand. I'm familiar with that process. 2. The memo fails to explicitly mention what is being regulated and what or who is being protected by the regulation. 3. Digital ads are by design much cheaper than traditional ads, and as such, small businesses can push their products and services through this affordable channel. What will the impact of this new tariff be on SMEs? so much for supporting small businesses. If this goes forward, however, I believe there are opportunities for tech innovation to help put efficiency to the vetting, approvals, and administration of this new regulation. In past episodes, we've talked about privacy concerns amid recent practices and handling of voice content by tech giants like Google and Facebook. Today, we'll talk about Apple and its recent apology about handling of Siri audio clips. Sources have been revealing to publications that Siri and other voice assistants aren't just digital assistants, they are platforms that feed into AI workflows of Silicon Valley. AI workflows means a lot of contractors manually working to understand what we want when we ask these voice assistants questions. But recently, Apple announced that it's completely changing how it handles reviewing audio from user Siri requests to ensure that users know exactly what they're getting into privacy-wise. The big change is that third-party contractors won't have access to any of the clips for a process called grading, and there's an explicit opt-in process for the users. This development is significant for a few reasons. 1. Apple really set the tone for consumer privacy among tech giants, so making notable changes is positive and might push others to make similar updates. 2. Siri, in my opinion, is not as great as Alexa or Google Assistant, so Apple has the most to lose here, and this is a decision that doesn't help their product development but pays attention to consumer privacy. 3. This announcement draws the attention of consumers to use of these voice assistants and hopefully lead to more careful use. This week's opinion poll asks if you think the plan by APCON to regulate online ads is a good one. To participate, please check Twitter at TechRoundUp1, Instagram at the TechRoundUp, Facebook at TechRoundUp, or on LinkedIn at Wole Farrell. As always, we'd like to hear your comments and feedback, so please connect with me on LinkedIn at Wole Farrell or subscribe to the TechRoundUp YouTube channel. Have a great weekend, guys, and see you all again next week. Say goodbye.